Now that's okay. So is child abuse getting worse? Is it getting better? Remember, these are cases that are coming to the attention of authorities across the whole state. We can talk about, and it might be that, yes, it got better, now it's getting worse again. It could be that, well, we had money, we lost money, so we weren't able to service as many people. Or people got frustrated trying to call in, they didn't get any action from us, so they started to stop calling in. And then maybe that's changed. If you look at it by county, here are all 88 counties over the last 6 years between this period. And so the statewide mean per thousand, there were mean the number of child maltreatment reports per year per 1,000 children. So the statewide mean is at around 34 calls that seemed legitimate enough to investigate per 1,000 kids in the county. But you see huge variation. You have some up here around 60 per 1,000, others down here around 5, 4. So, wow, that's a huge degree of variation. One of the questions is, okay, why? Is there something about these counties up here versus these down here? So one of the questions is, if you're in Franklin County or Allen County or Lucas County, to which county should you compare yourself? How should you? So we try to group counties based on demographics and also, to the extent possible, similar administrative environments. So they have the same level of funding, the same staff training and beliefs, how the organization is adult protective services, or the workers in that county also expected to investigate child protective services, and so they don't really have much expertise or experience working with adult protective services. What's going to be driving that? And also the reporting procedure, sort of on the ground practically, how do they do that? And that's going to be harder for us to sort of pull out in some sort of data set. So just to look, I'll go through this quickly. We created 10 different types of counties in the state. We made the major metros, the smaller metros, the wealthier suburban counties, the lower income suburban counties, the lower income non-Appalachian rural counties, there's a couple of very rural counties, higher income non-Appalachian rural counties, and then Appalachia. You get the idea. You get the idea. And on and on. Okay, so here's what's happening. Not naming the counties. Over the last few years, here are the 6 major metro counties in terms of their total number of child maltreatment reports per 1,000 kids. What's happening? We had to describe this in one sentence to my grandmother. What would you say? Going up, going down, going up. In general, it's going up. Maybe we get a little curious, what's going on here? This one's certainly increasing more than the others. But yeah, overall, the trend's kind of going up. Okay. Here's 4 low poverty central Ohio suburban counties. I'll mention what they are. I'm going to say which ones, like Delaware, Fairfield, I'm going to say Licking, and maybe Union, I'm not sure. But not Pickaway. So what's going on here?
Well, a couple of them are same kind of even. The one is rising, the other one is.
Yeah. They're all, I mean, even this is even back then when they seemed similar, but remember, this is twice the rate per now. So, okay, there's going to be some differences, but yeah, I would sort of be, if I was here, wondering, why am I different than everyone else? And so we can look at other examples in the interest of time. I'm gonna move on quickly. Here's another example. Let's break it down by type. Let's look at one of these counties. This one here. That was, and then boom, went through the roof. Wow, what happened there? And so we can actually pull that apart. What happened? Other. So they decided with SACWIS they're going to start classifying the other services, family needs of service, and so all of a sudden, overnight, number of abuse neglect cases actually went down. These cases, physical abuse about the same, sexual abuse about the same, social abuse about the same, and others are sort of driving that difference. And so on and so forth. So we can see let me find another example here. It looked like, if you just look at the total cases, wow, things really took off here and it's been kind of going down ever since. But you could also say, if we took out the others, that things have been pretty stable and all of a sudden, They really increased, maybe with the change transition to SAC. So our hope is by looking at the data this way over time, moving forward from 2007, we'll be able to get a better sense of what's driving individual level county change. Oh, you're on. So I guess the questions are, here, what are the best ways, and feel free just to jump in.
Okay. I just want to first start off by saying thanking Kenny for inviting PCSAO to be a part of this. And real quickly, in case folks don't know who PCSAO is, we are the Public Children's Services Association of Ohio, and we represent all of the 88 county child protection agencies in Ohio. So these are the public children's service agencies that are mandated by law to not only investigate but also provide services to children and families that come to their attention as a result of abuse and neglect. Every 2 years, we publish a fact book, and each of you has a copy. I've got some extras if you'd like to take a couple extra with you. But pretty much, we've been taking a look at this similar data for probably 20 years now, because we'll be going on to our 10th edition. And in kind of answering these questions, what are the best ways to present these data? Well, before I even do that, I was interested in some of Kenny's comments about, you don't count it, it doesn't exist, or you torture the data until it confesses. The other one that I was thinking of on the way over here today is that the statement about the data don't speak for itself. And so kind of looking at how do you frame the data, and we could put a glass of water on this table here and put some water in it, and everybody has the same data point. It's measurable, it's observable, but we could probably go around this room, and depending on your perspective, depending on your framework, that glass is either half full or it's half empty. And so it's all about how we frame the data. So I would, in terms of the best way to present this, I really appreciate seeing these trends. Now, as you look at our data, you look at our fact book, we do a similar kind of, when we try to give and Kenny talked about context. It's important to say, what is this, in the context of, as you look at this data, why is it important? And we try to do that in our data with different bar charts and pie charts, and we try to do some trend data from 2001 to 2007. But what's really nice about what Kenny has done here is it's a nice new look and cut. It's like a fresh cut for us and a fresh look at the data trends. And it's a real nice way of seeing it all in one, and especially I know it got complicated on the 10 different types or different kinds of county connections, but it's really helpful for the local data and for our like counties to see the trends and kind of get a sense of how can they compare themselves to others. And in terms of, I'm kind of just jumbling all of these into one, but I think that this type of a look at the data will really help assist us with prevention efforts, progressive approaches in Ohio, especially we're at a critical time right now, given the state budget and state funding. And I promised myself I wouldn't go to the state budget, but I mean, it's kind of hard not to. But child welfare is really looking at some significant cuts in funding. And if we were to go back to that slide that shows in 2007 we saw an increase in the number of maltreatment reports. Okay, what factors are impacting that? Is it related to the SAC-list change in data? Interestingly enough, it's kind of on that cusp of when Ohio started to see its economic downturn. I mean, Ohio's unemployment rate since we've released the fact book is now in the double digits, in 10.8%. Is there a relation to, and we've seen some research from across the country say that there is a relation, I don't know if it's